future. So thank God it's an honor to have him on my show. As the government stays shut down with no deal in sight, Trump closes in on the peace deal hostage release, which means, if you all are paying attention to this war, it means this. We could be looking at false flag season real soon. Real soon. Because, certain players certainly do not want this peace deal, folks. They want Gaza for themselves. Yeah. This is going to be real interesting. And there it is. That's the 3-step plan right there. And I'm going to go over that in just a second. We could be looking at false flag season. We also have U.S. Air Force C-17 aircraft seen at 𝗵𝗃𝗀 International Airport in the Caribbean on Thursday, where it arrived from the United States. The body of the U.S. Embassy official who died on October 2nd said, so here's what we're seeing here. So now planes are starting to arrive into the Caribbean. We could be expecting a strike into Venezuela fairly soon, is what I'm being told. So as we come to a peace deal in Gaza, we could be going to war in Venezuela. And war, what would that look like? I don't know. Strikes, then Maduro's out, and then it's over. I don't know. But then obviously that could spur or spawn some kind of attack here in the United States. Terrorist attacks, cartels, the whole thing. Believe me when I tell you, they're waiting for the perfect time. They're not gonna pull the trigger prematurely. White House website on shutdown. Democrats are putting health care for illegal immigrants over ensuring our troops get paid, is what that White House put on the website. Caroline Leavitt says, while federal workers stress over missed paychecks, military families turn to food pantries, and airports around the country face delays. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are bragging that every day gets better for them. So they're thinking that this is putting mud on Trump's face, and it's getting better and better for them. So what a disgusting and revealing statement. Democrats are gleeful about inflicting pain on the American people. Now let's get to some Candace Owens news just for a second. And here's what she says about the peace deal. Candace Owens on Trump says this. Candace Owens says, President Trump doesn't deserve the Nobel Peace Prize, claiming the so-called peace deal is built on profit and land theft. Owens warns that anyone who vacations in Gaza in the future will bring a curse upon themselves and their children. She says something dark is coming to that land because no one can escape the consequences of such evil. I agree with her. I'm going to say why. Because have you ever seen when they build on Indian reservations or Indian burial grounds, there's always some kind of curse to that land? I kind of feel the same thing here. I wouldn't go near that place. To me, I think it should be sacred, holy, left alone. So many hundreds and thousands of people, women and innocent women and children have been just bombed, gone, killed, gone forever. And I think leave that alone. And I don't know what they're going to try to build or what they're going to do, what kind of resorts they're putting there or whatever. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And I think Candace has a very valid point with that. So Trump says Gaza hostages should be released on Monday or Tuesday. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Thursday that the Gaza hostages should be released on Monday or Tuesday, and that he hopes to attend a signing ceremony in Egypt and address the Israel Knesset. Trump opened a White House cabinet meeting by discussing a deal reached on Wednesday under which the hostages held by Hamas militants are to be released in the first phase of a broader Gaza plan. He said he believed it would lead to a lasting peace deal. Trump said under the plan, Gaza is going to be slowly redone, a reference to plans to rebuild the Palestine enclave. He did not provide details other than to say we're going to create something where people can live peacefully. You can live right now in Gaza. I don't know, man. I agree with Candace on this 100%. There's going to be something there. I wouldn't go near that place. Hamas is expected to release the 20 living hostages together 72 hours after the ceasefire begins. We are getting the hostages back on Tuesday, Monday, or Tuesday, and that'll be a day of joy, Trump said. Trump said it may be difficult to retrieve all the remains of the hostages who died in captivity immediately because some of the bodies are going to be a little bit hard to find. Yeah, I'll say. said he was going to try to make the trip there to attend a signing ceremony in Egypt. The White House has been scrambling to work out the details of the hastily arranged trip. So, look, folks, I don't know what you think about this, but I think, to me personally, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And I think this is going to reveal a lot of stuff. This could expose that little country in the Middle East because, deep down, they don't really want this peace deal. They want it for themselves. A peace deal? No. Trump, do not call our bluff. Do not do it. I'm telling you, folks, Trump is calling their bluff. That's what's happening right now. So there's 3 phases of the Israeli troop withdrawals in Gaza under Trump's plan. The first phase, Alex, you can go ahead and put up that picture. The first phase appears Israel would retain control of Rafah and the Philadelphia corridor, if that's how you say it, in the south, and Beit Hanun in northern Gaza. The exact withdrawal lines are contingent on final agreement. Some 1,200 people were killed in the Hamas-led assault, and 251 were taken hostage. In Israel's ensuing offensive, more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza and nearly 170,000 wounded. I think those numbers they're much bigger than that, in my opinion. According to the Gaza's health ministry, which doesn't differentiate between civilians and combatants, but says around half of the deaths were women and children. Half of the deaths were women and children, folks. So there's 3 phases to this operation, and you can see it right there if you want to zoom in on that. But without further ado, folks, I really want to bring on my guest. I know he's in the back waiting. Shawn Taylor. Shawn, welcome.
Hey, brother. You have got some energy today, and that's a great thing because I'm telling you right now, great things are coming.
Okay, and I agree with you. And I wish you could reveal everything, but I know you can't. But let's get into this. So, New York Attorney General Letitia James has been criminally indicted. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been criminally indicted on federal charges by a grand jury. James, who led a civil fraud investigation against Trump in 2023, was indicted in Alexandria, Virginia, according to BBC's U.S. partner, CBS News. So they're going to make this sound like it's Trump's retribution, his revenge. But you've been tracking this for many, many years, and you've actually been the detective on the mortgage fraud, the money laundering. For 15 years, it took you to uncover this, correct?
Exactly. We started this case 15 years ago. It had to do with narcotics trafficking and human trafficking. And we worked that case, forever. And we just started, kicking over the stones, picking up those stones and seeing what came out. And brother, what's come out is an absolute, it's going to be amazing when everything comes out. We identified the Letitia stuff back 2 years ago. And, it's nothing new. And what we're finding is that it's not just in Act Blue. It's not just with the politics and the politicians. We're finding it's going into healthcare and all of that. Like they found a way to maneuver the system to launder huge amounts of money. And we're finding that a lot of that money is going into places like Toronto Dominion, who got hit with that $3.1 billion fine for laundering the cartel money and the CCP money.
Wow. So they were using outside banks in Canada as well, correct? So yeah. The web of intricacies is so massive, right, that it took you 15 years to uncover all of this. And and I know you can only reveal so much, so you don't have to answer anything I ask you, but was Letitia James one of the people you were tracking?
Let's see if we can share something here.
All right, Alex, can we share the screen? Go ahead.
Yeah, should be able to pull it up, Shawn, if you share.
Let's see if we can share the screen here. And let's see, share screen, and let's pick a screen here. There we go.
I knew you were such an important piece to all of this, and I'm so grateful that you're still alive.
It's been interesting, especially with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation coming down on us and indicting one of my detectives under false pretenses. But what that's done is it's shown us their political connections.
All right, so do me a favor, Shawn, on this, don't mention the company's names. People can read it, because I don't want to get in trouble for any kind of
So you can see the company up here at the top.
Right.
right there, right?
Right.
So what I want to do is I want to show you, it goes down to this individual
Okay.
right here, who is a board member, but is also the founder of this PAC.
Okay. So all of these LLCs and companies are connected in all of this. How long has this been going on for? Do we know about how long?
We're working on that to be able to see, we've, even with as much as we have uncovered, there is so much more. There is so much more. We're talking hundreds, if not thousands of people that are involved in this.
What?
Some of them knowingly, some of them unknowingly. So we're going to have to discern all of that information. But that's how we found Letitia James right here is through these connections.
So I see two big names down there. Can you scroll down just a little bit? Right there to the right. Is that and obviously people know who that is, and we know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
So how many, you're saying thousands of names are connected in this? Is it just the Democratic Party or is it Republican? Both? Obviously.
No, and that's what people need to understand is this is not just Democrats. You have to remember the Democrats have been infiltrated the same as the Republicans. And what they're doing is they're going into things like LGBTQ and things like that and trying to take over those different things to create social justice movements. And it's no different than Planned Parenthood was losing a lot of their funding. And so what did they do? They ended up going over to the transgender side to pick up more funding. And that's one of the things that we're seeing with the nonprofits. This nonprofit right here in the center is one of the huge ones.
Wow. Okay.
That ties into a lot of this stuff. And what people need to understand is that it goes into so many different things, like this one right here that I'm going to pull up a little bit closer.
So this can potentially take the whole house of cards down.
Absolutely. Yeah, because all we have to do is follow the money, follow the people that are a part of it, like this gentleman here, who's one of the founders of that. And it goes over to what? These two things.
Wow. Okay.
Now, pay attention to the name of the one on the right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing this screen, if I can figure out how to do that. We're going to stop sharing that screen, and we're going to share another screen with you. And this is, people are like, well, you're saying human trafficking and this and that. And what we have to understand is this is worldwide. This isn't just here in the United States. This is worldwide. So you just saw that who it was the Opus Dei there. And all of a sudden we have an article right here from April of this year. This woman says, I became like a slave. Why 43 are suing this secretive Opus Dei Catholic group in Argentina.
Wow.
And it's for the human trafficking and slavery and all of that.
Is that like a Christian organization or what is that?
It's a Catholic. It's part of the Catholic Church. Yep, it's an offshoot. So, we have so many things that are happening here. And, what the public needs to understand is all of this ties directly to your area. It ties into each of these viewers' areas, okay? And the way it does that is through little things like what I just pulled up here. You'll be able to see it in just a second.
So you first started trying to uncover this in just Tennessee, and then the web of intricacies took you all over the world.
It's huge. It's transnational. Yeah.
Transnational. So this is everywhere. So what they've been doing for the longest time in the real estate and mortgage business is massive fraud to fund their crimes.
Yes. Yes. And so you have Patrick Wellman, who is one of the largest people for Midas Touch Media. And what he does is he gets people like this guy here, Phil Williams, who attacked us. Phil Williams was going after us for investigating the corruption within our city, and we followed it all the way down. But what you have to do is you have to start following the money. So you have Midas Touch Media, which is also
part try not to say their names though, just so I get a little touch. People can read it. People can read it.
So you got it tying into all these other groups here, and the people that are the owners and the siblings that are a part of it. This brother here in particular was affiliated with a lot of stuff, including these two individuals directly.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, those are two big power players right there, aren't they?
Yes, but I want you to look over here. They're the ones that had that dossier.
Wow.
And that ties back to them as well as
wait, did I just see a big name right there? Can you zoom in on that one? Look at that, folks. Look who that is right there. Wow. Yep. Now on Nino'sCorner.tv, we'll go into this way more extensive. We'll be able to say what the hell we want to say there, but just look at these faces, folks. There you go. This is huge. These are major power players.
Yes. And you got stuff like this, you know, look at the name of this LLC. I mean, wow. What is that telling you, you know? I mean, so, you know, we're putting together all the information. We're putting it all together. We know where it ties. And, you know, it's that old saying, we've got it all. Well, guess what, people? We've got it all. And we're gaining so much more information on a daily basis. It's not even funny. I mean,
if Letitia James is the first name, you know, I didn't have it on my bingo card that she would be the next after James Comey, but I know the indictments, I've been told they're going to start rolling out like there she is. There's that nice mug, that big, beautiful mug right there. Yeah. So I've heard, since she's the first in this area of the, let's call it the takedowns, how many big names are we going to hear next coming? Do you?
You know, I'm really, there's so much that I can't talk about. What I will say is, from what I understand, Trump just brought in a bunch of JAG attorneys and has put those people in place. And that happened this past week. I think a lot of this information may be going under, Title III that goes into treason and sedition, because these funds do go overseas to governments that are adversarial against us. So you may be seeing that happening. I think you're going to see a lot of people that are going to do what's called proffering and giving up the information so that they don't go to prison or their prison time is shorter. And, you know, this is the disruption that has to be caused to cause the dismantling.
So also, you know, many of this went to fund terrorist organizations, correct?
Yes.
And some that are newly labeled terrorist organizations.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And you have to remember a little bit. So, you know, I was doing some research on that last night. So you have these people up in Oregon State that are having these riots there because they're being allowed to by the government there, the state and local government. And you have to look at, okay, if this state and local government is allowing this to take place, then as far as I'm concerned, and as law is concerned, if that group is considered a terrorist organization, anybody who's assisting them should be charged with the same crime, which is including the local law enforcement, local politicians, and the state politicians. When you're allowing things to happen like that, to disrupt your citizens who you've sworn an oath to protect and to uphold the Constitution, and you're not doing that, you've allowed a terrorist organization to take over your city.
Well, hold on. Even if they're taking orders from the governor and the mayor is telling them what to do, they because that's going to be the excuse they use.
Well, it doesn't matter. That governor, that mayor, if they're allowing that group to do that and they're assisting in it, and they're assisting by allowing it to happen. Heck, one of the people said that they had video of that group, that terrorist group, out directing traffic so local law enforcement didn't have to. So what does that tell you? That tells you that they are acting. They are
working together.
They are working together, which means that the people who are working together and who have knowledge are guilty of sedition and treason. And what the listeners need to do is they need to start looking at the cities where the biggest uprisings are happening with this group, with this terrorist organization, and they need to flood that city, that municipality, that county, and the state with FOIA requests, with Freedom of Information Act requests, requesting all email correspondence, all text messages, and any and all documentation between that local government and that terrorist organization. And you need to start inundating them with these FOIA requests and going public with the information that is being provided.
So as these names start dropping, how soon do you expect these names to start being revealed to the public? Letitia being the first, when do you think the next few will start rolling out?
You know,
This month?
you got Shifty Shift and all the stuff that's happening with him. I think you're going to start seeing some of those bigger names get hitting. You're going to start seeing some of the stuff that's happening within the FBI and the DOJ, where they are basically trying to clog the system so people like Ed Martin can't move ahead. People like Mac Warner can't move ahead, and things like that, because you have this clog in these agencies of your Obama holdovers and your Biden holdovers who are withholding the funding for these agents to go do what they need to do, and these U.S. attorneys to go do what they need to do. So I think it's going to be as fast as they can move with the interference that's happening within.
So as this starts happening, as this starts rolling out, what do you expect the other side to do? What do you, in your mind, Shawn, you being a police detective, what do you expect them to do? What do you think the other side, what moves are they going to make as these big names start getting implicated and indicted?
They're going to blow it up in the media to make it look like it has to do with politicalization. And they're going to try to say that Trump's going after his enemies instead of saying this is about accountability. This is about rule of law. And so that's how they're going to try to paint the picture to try to manipulate as much as they can. You're going to start hearing fascist and Nazi as much more than you could ever stand. And all of that, they're going to be trying to get this entire agenda played out in the court of public opinion versus in the actual courtroom. You're going to start seeing judges, I think, being removed left and right because we have to clean our judiciary out. We have to clean out the people within the prosecutors' offices, both at state and federal levels, so that we can get proper people within those areas to be able to prosecute things properly. So you're going to see a large move, I think, at the local, state, and federal levels there, because how can you bring charges on somebody and expect a fair trial when you don't have anybody in there who's following the rule of law? Tina Peters in point, you know?
Right.
I mean, come on now.
So there's some big key players that are not being allowed to talk. I know there's a lot of whistleblowers out there that are coming forward. Are there other people besides you, Shawn, that are uncovering this mortgage fraud? Are you the only one, or are there others involved?
No, there's others involved.
One is Stubbs, one of them, Stibbs, I think it's, what's his name?
I don't know. I can say that there are federal agencies who are currently looking at this. And
so what are you allowed to say to my audience right now? A morale boost. I mean, you feel justice is coming, no doubt?
Justice is coming, but the opposition is going to create as much discord as they can and try to get as much stuff happening in the local cities, the large metropolitan cities, and create discord there, so that we have to put our efforts into that versus the accountability and bringing the justice. And we can't get sidelined, you know, and have all of our forces divided going after that stuff. We have to be able to maintain and go ahead. Sometimes, you know, you've got to just let these people scream and yell and show they're crazy, and just let them scream and scream and scream. And you need to just continue on with the plan that you have in place, which is the accountability. And so the accountability is coming 100%. I'm heading back to DC next week. I got some very big meetings there. There's a lot of things that are happening, and that is.
So you are playing a very pivotal role in this.
I don't know how pivotal, but you know, it doesn't matter what role I play as long as they take the information and they move forward with it. But I do have some high-level meetings, and I'm talking with different agencies and things of that nature.
So as these indictments roll out, you are expecting more events to take place, distraction, diversion, anything to get our mind off this stuff. So, you know, we have James Comey indicted. Now we have Letitia James. I'm expecting a lot more to come out in the next few weeks, as you are. But you can guarantee, as a police detective, police officer, you can say with full confidence they're going to have to make some big moves to distract our attention.
Yeah, and I would be expecting some big moves. You know, people have to realize the wheels of justice turn slow, but they're always turning. And the reason that they need to turn slow right now is so we don't end up with something like P. Diddy, where, you know, it wasn't the information that should have been put into
It should
record.
have been slam dunk. He should be doing like 50 years.
Right. And that didn't happen. So, you know, some balls were dropped on that. And we want to make sure that the ball isn't dropped on any of this.
Well, from my understanding, how Juanito has said, and I know you met with Juan, and that there has to be something that triggers this to go military, correct? To where this is just a clean sweep and all of this, because we are in their court, we are in their basketball court, we are in their system. So how do you win in their system? The only way to win this is for this to go military, correct? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to have a lot of the military side come in here, and I think that's in the process of being done. And I think that's going to be the undoing for this group that's been named terrorists and the funding and all of that. I think you know, the big guy that everybody talks about, Mr. S, you know, he's been funding a lot of this stuff for years, and he's claimed now, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. You know, you did. And the accountability is coming, and we're going to be looking at all of those nonprofits that are funding these people to be out in the streets causing all of this ruckus.
Which
And
they've also said they're going to be investigating Antifa from the top down, right?
yes, yes. And that's how,
a lot of these nonprofits involved, correct?
yeah, a lot of the nonprofits with the people we're looking at go into the nonprofits with that terrorist organization.
So if USAID uncovered a lot of the useless spending, the fraud, the money laundering, the whole thing there, how much of this, how big of a piece of pie is this mortgage fraud? Equivalent, same as USAID or more?
I would say equivalent and more.
Wow. So we're looking at something much bigger than USAID was just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, what we're looking at in the mortgage fraud, we're thinking in the neighborhood of 1.5 to 2 trillion.
1.5 to 2 trillion?
Correct.
That's astronomical. That's even. So can you explain the methods on how they were doing this briefly for my audience? Are you able to do that? Like how they were buying up a house and then appraising it for more, right?
Yeah, so it's very easy. Let's say you have a state that's a conservative state, and you want to move into that conservative state and make it a swing state. What you do is you move in and you buy 10 houses in one subdivision that has a large voting populace. You buy 10 of those houses, you pay $100,000 each for each house. So you got 10 houses, $100,000 each, that's $1 million investment. A couple of streets over, you buy 10 more houses at $100,000 each. That's another $1 million investment. So now you have 20 houses, $2 million investment. You paid cash for them. Now, in between those two streets, I'm going to buy 2 more houses. Instead of paying $100,000 for those, I'm going to pay $1 million for each of them cash. So what I've just done is I have artificially inflated the other 20 houses by 10 times that amount. I take those 22 houses and I quick deed them to my sister company. My sister company then goes and mortgages those houses for 10 times the amount of what they're worth.
Jeez.
The bank already has the money there, because what we're finding is the CCP and the cartel has been depositing the money there. The money is then taken, and you know that's how they're cleaning the money, and the bank is making the money off of the interest.
And this happened in every state and even outside of the U.S.?
Yes.
So this is so massive. This is transnational.
It is transnational 100%.
Any of the U.S. banks implicated, or was it mainly outside banks?
Numerous banks in numerous countries.
All right. I know that, you can only say so much, and I don't want to pressure you anymore. We'll go over what you want to go over on ninoscorner.tv. If you're free later today or tomorrow, Shawn.
Okay. Absolutely, brother.
I appreciate you joining us, and I can tell you're a little uncomfortable, so I won't press you for any more. I know you're playing a very big role in all this. Thank you for joining me. Shawn Taylor, everybody, thank you for your time, man. This has been amazing.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you. And we appreciate you getting all this information out there.
Yeah, doing the best I can. So, all right, folks, give a hand for Shawn Taylor. Give him a thumbs up. Please share and like this video. He needs it. This is big stuff. This is big stuff we're uncovering. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Letitia James is just the tip, folks. This is just the beginning. More names to come. So, central witnesses undermines case against James Comey. Prosecutors concluded. Federal prosecutors investigating former FBI Director James Comey for allegedly making false statements to Congress determined that a central witness in their probe would prove problematic and likely prevent them from establishing their case to a jury, sources familiar with their findings told ABC News. Comey, who pleaded not guilty at his arraignment Wednesday, was indicted last month on charges of making false statements and obstruction related to 2020 testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and Justice Department officials have privately expressed that the case could quickly unravel under the scrutiny of a federal judge and defensive lawyers. Daniel Richmond, a law professor who prosecutors allege Comey authorized to leak information to the press, told investigators that the former FBI director instructed him not to engage with the media on at least 2 occasions, and unequivocally said Comey never authorized him to provide information to a reporter anonymously ahead of the 2016 election, the sources said. According to prosecutors who investigated the circumstances surrounding Comey's 2020 testimony for 2 months, using Richmond's testimony to prove that Comey knowingly provided false statements to Congress would result in likely insurmountable problems for the prosecution. Investigator detailed those conclusions in a lengthy memo last month, recommending that the office not move forward in charging Comey. According to sources familiar with the memo's contents, Lindsey Halligan, a Trump loyalist handpicked to replace the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, who resisted bringing prosecutions against Trump's political foes, still moved forward in presenting the case before a grand jury in Alexandria, Virginia, and secured 2 out of 3 counts she sought against Comey over his 2020 congressional testimony. During grand jury proceedings, prosecutors did not have similar legal obligations to turn over evidence favorable to the defendant as they do once a case moves forward to the trial. Halligan's deputy Maggie Cleary raised similar concerns about the case the same week. The former White House aide turned prosecutor asked a grand jury to indict Comey. Folks, this is getting so damn entertaining. I don't know about you, but I'm loving every second of this. And I told you the boomerang was coming. We are in the middle of the boomerang now. Well, the beginning. Right when that boomerang is just beginning to turn around, we're right there right now. So stay tuned. I'm going to be having a lot more information, especially on ninoscorner.tv. It's going to be fire. I'm telling you, I'm going to bring on all the people you want to hear from. Now, Shawn Taylor. Believe me when I tell you, Shawn Taylor was the first that I know of that was out there within the niche audience, really putting this stuff out there. He was in fear of his life. He was that important of a piece on the chessboard. He was in fear of his life, and I was starting to think he was never going to get this information out there on time. So now he's getting it out there. Obviously, we see the first crack in the dam with Letitia James. I have to believe that's due to Shawn Taylor's work, and many more names to come. So in an unverified report, you know, I talked to 𝗀𝗏𝗃 on this. Now you guys make your own decision on this, but there were rumors. There were rumors swirling all over social media that that an insider within the Chinese Communist Party reportedly disclosed that Xi Jinping suffered a sudden stroke earlier I think it was yesterday. His condition, whenever silver went up past 50, his condition is said to be extremely critical, and emergency medical treatment is reported in progress. So with that being a rumor, right? That was a rumor. That just shows you how volatile this is going to happen, how volatile silver can be. It bounced back. I think it went up to, someone put it in the comments, it went up to 51, 52, could have been 53. Put it in the comments, but then it went back down. It went back down below 50. But that just shows you how crazy this is going to get once silver skyrockets past 50, folks. I heard it's going to go within days to 70 to maybe 80 to even 100. It's going to be that fast. 51, was it 51? All right, someone put in there 51. So was it because of the rumors of Xi Jinping? If something happens like that, something happens to Trump, you know, God willing, that doesn't happen. But folks, we are coming into the season of false flags. And you saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. You saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm telling you, there's a lot of congressmen and women out there right now, politicians, who right now are getting armed security, more surveillance. They're scared for their lives. Marjorie Taylor Greene being one of them. And I'm telling you, folks, when you do something like that, that mass trauma event that happened at Charlie Kirk, that's when they start striking. That's when they start going after these politicians and compromising them, blackmailing them, telling them, do this for us. You saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. Play ball. That's what that was about. A big, big part of it. Fear controls everybody, controls a lot of people, folks, if you let it. And these people don't have security. They don't have the right security around them. Charlie Kirk didn't have the right security around him. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk. And then you got to understand, look how big this was. They started remodeling the whole area right after he was assassinated. Folks, there's so many players involved in this, and I can point fingers. My gut tells me that, yeah, probably, most likely, there was probably some people in the organization involved and outside. It was so strategically sound. I have to believe that it was a professional hit, and Tyler Robinson was just a patsy, in my opinion. And you know that Candace Owens is uncovering a lot more, but I think, folks, we could see more players get hit. And I've been told that this could happen, because right now we are in the red hot zone of false flags right now. Right now. Russian President Vladimir Putin announces that Central Asian nations are completely abandoning the U.S. dollar in favor of their national currencies. Like, this is a big problem, and of course, this will make silver spike and gold spike. Putin says this marks a full-scale transition, with Russia emerging as one of the leading investors in the countries moving away from the U.S. dollar. Illinois Lieutenant Governor Julia Stratton says if Pritzker is arrested, she'll pick up right where he left off. Good. Go ahead. You'll be arrested next. He'll be next. Be brave all you want. Scream all you want. Be a social justice warrior all you want. People are sick and tired of your shit. So she says he's going to have to come through me next. Not a fucking problem. I guarantee you that's not a problem. Come through you next. Okay, not a problem. According to the IRS contingency plan for the shutdown, the IRS will furlough 39,870 employees from 10/8/25 to 4/30/26. Now, folks, you got to still pay your taxes. You got to still pay your taxes, but this is great news. So that is 53.6% of the total employees at the IRS, 74,299 employees. Wow. This is huge. I see the downsizing of the government, folks. This is all part of it. Remember, Trump's going to make some very big moves during this shutdown. The Hezbollah-affiliated news agency is reporting that Hamas has agreed to the ceasefire and the hostage agreement with Israel, and that it will be signed Thursday in Egypt. I guess it was what is today? That was yesterday. All right, great. See, folks, it takes me a couple days to put these together. U.S. Air Force plane touches down at 𝗵𝗃𝗃 Airport. I think that's how you say it. The arrival on October 9th of a United States Air Force USAF C-17 aircraft at 𝗵𝗃𝗃 International Airport sent many tongues wagging, with social media posts claiming the U.S. military has arrived en masse into Trinidad as part of the ongoing American military action in the Caribbean Sea against Venezuelan narco-terrorists. However, when Newsday checked with officials of the American Embassy in Port of Spain, the explanation given was that the aircraft had arrived to collect a body of embassy officials who had died earlier that month. The embassy, well, actually one embassy official, his response to query told Newsday. So I don't know. Do you believe that? I don't think so. Let me tell you why. The intel that I'm getting is that there could be strikes on Venezuela fairly soon, and Maduro could be taken out very soon. Okay, so there's that. So they don't want to alarm anybody or cause any chaos. And from my understanding, they were planning to do it as a coup from the people and have the people overthrow Maduro, but that will take too long. So we could be seeing a heat-seeking missile go right up Maduro's ass. Yeah. You know, just saying. I don't know. How proper. So, 𝗬𝗂𝗶𝗋𝗄 is getting deported to Ghana. So the Department of Homeland Security said it now plans to deport 𝗬𝗂𝗋𝗄𝗂 to Ghana, according to a notice from the agency to his attorneys. DHS previously said it was planning to deport 𝗬𝗂𝗋𝗄, who was wrongly deported to El Salvador and then brought back to the U.S. to Eswatini, Uganda. Attorney for 𝗬𝗂𝗋𝗄 will be in court on Friday for an evidentiary hearing in which government witnesses are expected to testify about the steps taken to remove him to Eswatini, Uganda. This guy can't catch a break. Oh, man, he's like hot potato. Nobody wants him. He does look like a potato head, doesn't he? 𝗬𝗂𝗋𝗄, a Salvadorian native who had been living in Maryland with his wife and children, was deported in March to El Salvador's 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗁 mega prison, despite a 2019 court order barring his deportation to that country due to fear of persecution. So what's he scared of? Persecution. If he wasn't in a gang, why is he so scared of persecution? Huh? The Trump administration claimed he was a member of the criminal gang MS-13, which his family and attorneys deny. He was brought back to the U.S. in June to face human smuggling charges in Tennessee, to which he pleaded not guilty. Everybody loves to plead not guilty, huh? After being released into custody of his brother in Maryland pending trial, he was again detained by immigration authorities who indicated their intention to deport him. And where is he going? To Uganda. Oh, boy. Let's get to some Pope news. Pope Leo urges compassion for migrants in rebuttal to conservatism, his first key document. The pontiff looks to follow his predecessor Francis and says the Catholic Church's core mission is to help the poor and downtrodden. Well, why don't you do that? Why doesn't the Vatican give all their gold to the poor? Why doesn't the Vatican tear down their walls, right? I mean, you're a kind of a hypocrite. Nah. But you want to break the middle class. That's what you want to do. Flood America with the immigrants. It's all strategic design, folks. They're all involved, and the Pope being one of them. I said he's going to be the direct opposition to Trump. He's going to keep boosting the morale of the immigrants that are trying to come here and make them feel like they deserve to be here. They deserve handouts. That's his whole mission, folks. The Pope has said that the Catholic Church's core mission is helping the poor, the downtrodden, and migrants in his first major papal document, a message that may alarm conservative Catholics who want the Vatican to prioritize dogma and doctrine. Released on Thursday, Leo's apostolic exhortation follows family in the footsteps of his predecessor, Pope Francis, who based his entire papacy on building a poor church for the poor. Yeah. Remember, folks, I've had Leo Zagami on talking about the Jesuits, how they control everything. They control the whole New World Order. It's that little place in Rome. All roads lead to Rome till this very day. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, they're still in control of everything. They never gave up control. They're still control of everything, just behind the scenes, using religion. I tell you what, I think I had a good podcast with John Rich the other day. I premiered it yesterday. If you missed it, watch it. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. It was a great podcast. He's a great guy. I got to go to his house, Mount Richmore, and it was fun. It was a fun time with John Rich. You know, I don't really follow country music, but I saw his first release, the song he just recently released, Revelations, and then I reached out to him. We became friends. He's a great dude. He has a great family. His house is like a combine. It's like 3 stories. It's insane. It is Mount Richmore. But anyway, we mainly talk about Christians being targeted, you know, and how it's going to get much worse, folks. It's going to get worse. I just saw a video, and it just threw me back. My jaw hit the floor, and it was a trans saying how men get upset when they find out that she's trans. So now she's starting a movement, or I don't know if she started, or he, she, whatever, started this movement where they're using a cross, the cross of Jesus Christ. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So to signal, this is that lowercase t, saying that it's a lowercase t, meaning I'm trans. So using the cross to identify as trans. Wow. That right there, I was thrown back. I couldn't believe, like, they're going to, so as if the rainbow's not enough, now the lowercase t. You all know where I'm getting at. This is getting insane. And as I said, our faith will be targeted. Christians themselves will be targeted. More than 30 Christians beheaded. Church burned down. More than 30 Christians were beheaded in Mozambique last month, with churches and homes burned down, according to a new report. The Islamic State Mozambique province, an affiliate of Islamic State, has claimed responsibility for multiple attacks on Christian civilians in the northern part of the African country. Often the Cabo Delgado province, the Middle East Media Research Institute said last Wednesday. Wow. So think about this. Beheading Christians. How many Islamic Sharia law communities, combines, do we have here in the States? We got Plano, Dearborn, Michigan, many others. Shit, we have them right here in Ciudad Juarez. So how does Sharia law and the Constitution go together? They don't. It's going to be interesting to see what moves Trump makes next against this. So we know who brought them all in here. All roads lead to who? Mr. O. You know that. Metro to remove Pride crosswalk after Greg Abbott threatens to withhold funding from Texas cities. So Governor Greg Abbott on Wednesday threatened to withhold road funding from cities and counties if they do not remove political ideologies from their streets, joining the Trump administration in declaring rainbow crosswalks as dangerous distractions. There it is right there, folks. So those now need to be removed. You know, this has just gotten so ridiculous. I mean, I personally don't care who, what, or when people have sex. I don't give a shit. But it doesn't need to be advertised. I think that's a personal thing, and you know, this is what's affecting our children, folks, right here. Schools, churches, crosswalks. It's in your face everywhere. Texans expect their taxpayer dollars to be used wisely, not advance political agendas on Texas roadways, Abbott said in a statement. To keep Texans moving safely and free from distractions, we must maintain a safe and consistent transportation network across Texas. What do you all feel about Greg Abbott? Do you like him? I've always felt, I don't know, I've always kind of felt he's a fucking rhino, but he's doing what he's told, right? I think he'll go along, in my opinion. He kind of plays a part. Like, he'll go along with whatever administration is in office. So, like, if it was Biden and Biden was telling him to put more of these up, he would put them up. You know what I'm saying? They're jellyfish. They go with the current. They go with the tide. That's how I see Abbott. He doesn't impress me. He never has. He's a fucking rhino. He's a rhino. Whatever. Amazon's MGM, Melania Trump documentary to be released in theaters in January. It's going to be released in January. Amazon's Melania Trump documentary is coming to theaters, folks. Melania will be released exclusively in theaters on January 30th, 2026 in the U.S. and select territory overseas. Amazon MGM Studios announced on Thursday the feature film follows the First Lady in the 20 days leading up to Donald Trump's 2025 inauguration. The movie will then later hit streaming, but will also be accompanied by a 3-episode Melania Trump docuseries that will also stream on Prime Video. Is it me, or is she like I would say Jacqueline Kennedy was the first, and now Melania, the two most classy first ladies we've ever had, right? The two classiest, most elegant first ladies we've ever had, Melania and Jacqueline Onassis, right? Kennedy. That's what I would have to say. That's what I think. It beats Big Mike. Can you believe we had a fucking tranny in the White House? What? I don't know, whatever. All right, so in what the fuck news, circumcision highly likely linked to autism, RFK Jr. says in wild new Tylenol claim. Oh boy. All right, so Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stunningly claimed Thursday there may be a link between circumcision and autism due to the distribution of Tylenol, to infants following the procedure. Okay, so what about this? What about this? Look at my shoulder, folks, because that's what we're really talking about here. That's what we're really talking about here. This is a warm-up to the big game. They got to talk about Tylenol first, and then hopefully they better get to this, because we all know. We all really know. But maybe the backlash would be just so massive. I don't know. I don't know why they're not talking about this. What's going on, Robert Kennedy? Why aren't you talking about this? Tylenol. Okay, Tylenol's a good start. It's a warm-up. But we all know. We all know. And we're waiting. We're waiting, buddy. Sorry, folks. I got to express my views. It's my show. That's the way I see it. So that's the way I roll. That's the way I roll. I got to tell you, man, I can't stand withholding information. I can't stand lies. Like if we're gonna come out with the truth, let's go 100% with the truth, not 2%, not 50%, not 60%, not even 90%, not even 99%. Let's go. If we're gonna deliver truth, deliver the truth. 100% go. We're ready, and those who aren't ready, fuck them. Fuck them. I don't have time, and I don't think anybody else has time for these people that are just fucking slow behind the ball. Well, none of us have time for that. Let's just get going. Take the whole damn deck of cards, take the whole house of cards down, and just let's go. Let's start it. But I understand, folks, I've been told surgical precision, but wow, this is taking a long time, isn't it? I think we're all ready. I know my audience is ready for this. Alex, are you there?
Hey, Nino.
All right, so the technical difficulties was on Alex's end today.
On my end.
That was a first, man. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was a good show with Shawn Taylor. What do you think?
Yeah, man. It's just flabbergasting, the corruption. And I mean, 15 years of investigation into this, and you saw that map that he had. Like, imagine just how much time it took to put all the pieces on it, then they have to connect things, and it's just like, I mean.
And then you think like he was like in fear of his life for so long. He probably still is in fear of his life. I mean, he's a huge component in this, from my understanding. And I don't. He's only allowed to talk about certain things, but I'm going to bring him on Nino's Corner.tv to talk about more. But he only goes at the pace and speed he wants to go, because dude, come on, he's an important, pivotal role in all this.
Yeah.
I mean, he's uncovered 15 years of investigating this stuff. That's crazy. I don't know. I mean, this whole thing, everything that's being exposed right now, and it's all coming out. We are now in the boomerang. That turn in the boomerang. I think we can all feel it. And James Comey being indicted, Letitia James, and many more. I'm hearing there could be 2 or 3 more this month, and a big arrest. I'm hoping on it. I'm just like everybody else. I'm hoping, folks. I get told stuff behind the scenes, but I don't have the balls to come out and say it on the show and then be held accountable for it, you know? Because, you know, people will hold you to the fire for that shit. You can't I just can't come out and say, hey, guess who's getting arrested this month in a couple weeks? I can't say that shit because if it doesn't happen, and I don't know, I'm only as informed as my audience with the guests that I bring on, you know?
Yeah, and things are kind of fluid. Like, you know, plans they have to be a little bit fluid that way. And so, you know, month to month, it's not always as exact. But man, I don't know. With everything going on in these cities and like everything else out there, it seems clear to me $100 billion of funding in ICE was not enough. We need to fund ICE like 10 times more. We need new legislation to you know, create felonies out of obstructing federal officers. You can't just, I mean, these Antifa crowds are, as much as they're being effective. They're slowing down ICE. They're stopping. They're having an effect.
Well, the police are getting involved with them, dude. That's insane. I mean, so this is like a civil war atmosphere. You know what I mean? This is what creates a civil war. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, dude, nobody could blame Trump if he signs the Insurrection Act. You know, but then again, they're saying that it was, I had, who was on my show? I think it was 𝗫𝗎𝗍𝗫 said that it was signed in 2018, actually. And that's why it's 45-47. But then Juan says it was never signed. At least we know it wasn't signed during the J6 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, oh, and by the way, folks, 𝗫𝗎𝗫𝗀𝗫's going on today on 𝗬𝗏𝗠𝗃𝗏. He says during the 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃 speech, afterwards, many of the generals were arrested on the spot. That's what he says. Like I said, I laid out for you all the plate out. So that 𝗫𝗎𝗫𝗀𝗃, incredible intel. The guy was a code breaker in submarines in the military, has a lot of strong connections within the military, still gets a lot of intel. Now, if he's coming on saying that, I think it holds a lot of water. So, no pun intended. But so, you know, hey, I mean, were a lot of the generals arrested right after that speech? He says they were. So that's crazy to me. So that's going up today, folks. That's going to go up today in a few hours, probably around evening time. I'll put it up around 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Alex, thanks for joining me, bro. I'll see you maybe this weekend. We'll do a show. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Let me know. Sounds good, Nino.
Fix your podcast there. Fix your mic or whatever it is.
Yeah. I'll try to fix this. Get this sorted out.
All right. Cool. All right, folks. We're out of here. I'll see you at Nino'sCorner.tv and the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcast.